The Hindu newspaper shorthand dictation, total words 500, speed 100 word per minute. Start. The fact that India's cities run on the backs of workers is known, but what is often acknowledged is that so do many private homes. Domestic work is one of the biggest employers in India's larger informal economy. Especially in urban areas, it is also one of the largest employers for women. Yet not enough focus has been placed on working women in our discussions on COVID-19 and the lockdown. There are no special economic packages for domestic workers unlike, say, for construction workers. Soon the rhythms of domestic life will be faster and more consistent, just like before, and like always an entire set of activities and hours of labor will escape the purview of lawyers, economists and politicians alike. To understand how COVID-19 and the lockdown have impacted domestic workers, we conducted a rapid telephonic survey of 500 households in Jaipur, Rajasthan in mid-May. Para. When the lockdown began, there were appeals to employers to not withhold salaries for domestic workers. Yet in an informal workplace with no formal job contract, these appeals are unenforceable. In March, 51% of the respondents said they were not paid fully, indicating some compliance by employers. However, 89% said they were not paid at all in April. Ground reports suggest that May was no different, that this has had an immediate effect on worker households. The income of domestic workers is 50% of the total household income. It is the more regular form of income supplemented by other members who are generally daily wagers. So what happened to these households? Para. First, it is important to recognize that these households were vulnerable even before the COVID-19 outbreak. On the eve of March 25, the average holding of rice and wheat in each household was less than 8 kg. On an average, households had operational savings worth barely 15 days, with most households reporting only 10 days worth of operational savings. In the best cases, women reported operational savings worth 23 days, far less than the time they had to ride out without income due to the lockdown. In the survey, 44% of women domestic workers reported having had to borrow money to ride through the lockdown period. Para. To make matters worse, according to the participants of the survey, rents have not been foregone but deferred. Dues, rent, water, electricity that need to be immediately attended to follow the lifting of the lockdown are far more pervasive and higher in value than borrowings. The average due across 500 households was about rupees 8,700. Close to one-third of the households had dues worth 10,000 rupees. Only about 12% reported not having any dues at all. Non-negotiable expenses such as milk, vegetables, fuel, oil and masalas cost them 100 rupees per day. These have been largely managed from savings, borrowings and incurring debts as also with foregoing meals at large. In short, loss of income has meant that households have lost the thin layer of savings they had and have left the lockdown with debt. Stop. थैंक यू। इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन को प्रेस करें ताकि लेटेस्ट वीडियो की जानकारी आप तक सबसे पहले पहुंच सके। वीडियो को लाइक और डिसलाइक अवश्य करें। कोई सुझाव और प्रश्न हो तो कमेंट बॉक्स में लिखें और वीडियो को अपने फ्रेंड्स और क्लासमेट्स को शेयर करें।